Stories are how you tell yourself truths you're not brave enough to hear, is a sentiment from Mark Lawrence's book that broke the world, book 2 of the Library trilogy, and that's really what stories are about, isn't it? It's a way of discovering who we are, it's a way of living lives we can't live in moments, and it's a way of delving into worlds that aren't our own. And that's really what sort of goes on in this brilliant series by Mark Lawrence. Second book in the Library trilogy, and the first one, you know, if you watch my first review, was incredible. It was really an evolution of Mark Lawrence as a writer. You know, you see it unfold on the page, and here we are again, just extending that brilliance from that fantastic, brutal, grimdark writer that he was into something more. There's still high magic, brilliant fantasy in these stories, but his writing's certainly evolved, and I really drummed on about that last review, and this one kicks off again. And basically, it's always hard to do stories when I don't want to do spoilers, but I'm assumed you come along on the journey with me. We've done the first one now, and the world's in chaos. The library is in chaos, and it's engulfed, and it's under attack. And now that we've come to into the second book, we've seen the scattering of that what happens after their lives, and they've known about the encroaching enemies that have been approaching. But yeah, now we really see the true nature of the world with the humans and the Caineth, which is like these powerful, like cat-like humanoid creatures. And yeah, you see the magic, and then there's other creatures introduced into this one, other sort of humanoid species and that, and watching their story unfold and how they intertwine through these magic portals in this one great library that holds all the books of the world, that is separated by portals with these assistants that you can't enter certain parts depending on your species type, and or if you do, then you're like a ghost in that and can witness histories and witness different parts. The time travel and the interplay on this one are really fantastic, and there was a little bit there for a while that I was sort of just having trouble sort of keeping up with it, you know, just a little bit distracted while reading lately. There's a lot going on in my life outside of delving into books, and yeah, so it's been a bit hard to just sort of sit down and relax and read as I'd love to, you know. This book's taken me a little bit longer than I would have liked to have read. Oh, that's just the nature of me and reading. So there was a bit of a patch in there where I was a bit uncertain where I was at with it. Like, is this really happening as it should be? Like, but then it all sort of weaves back around, and it picks up. And the way Mark did it really enfolds all these little threads, all these little subplots, and it was perfect. So we're back with Livia and Evar, but there's also other characters now take a main stay in the point of view. So one of the Livia's library companions, another librarian. I just finished. I literally just finished it, and I'm already blanking on the names. Aparex, I think I've said that wrong. He's another character, and he was in the first one. And he was really key in the first one. One of the key characters, if not like the point of like the main pair of characters. And this one, he really steps up and follows a different track in the story. Then we have these other characters. Hewitt and his sister Celia, who she really takes the story forward in a different aspect. And again, it's that time frame, like stuff's happening in the past, but is it happening in the future? Like, where's it fitting in to this main story that you sort of went through in the first one? But the tie-in between it all is perfect. It's really done really well, even though, like I said, there was times I was like, oh, what's going on here? You know, it's not, you know, what's happening, is it there, is it here, is it there? But Mark Lawrence, if you continue reading, which I absolutely encourage you to, you know, to continue reading. And maybe that was, like I said, a lot of stuff going on. Didn't get to read it like I would just love to have sat down and read it, you know, but it's just not the nature of how I can read at the moment. You know, one day soon I'll get more time to do more solid reading, and then more book reviews will follow. But yeah, the tie-in was really brilliant, the way he did it, right up to the end. And again, there's this really underlying beautiful story, and watching the characters change, he done that really well, especially with Clovis, the hardened warrior that saw her family slaughtered and ready for just blood. She's built her life around her moment of vengeance, and having her world rocked in this one, with some different truths and that, and then watching that play out is really cool. Which again, I don't want to spoil this, but the way that comes about and having opportunities to rectify things, that's really cool. But he doesn't, you know, typical a great writer, like, and Mark is a great writer, doesn't quite give you what you want in that space. So we'll definitely have to check out book 3 and see if that thread follows its way through. But it's, the magic systems and the different way the history of this library was sort of built and formed on, you know, giving people the knowledge and the power. And it's the really, you know, the subtle messaging is, if you give everybody all the knowledge in the world, all the power, all the weapons, what are they going to do with it? And as humans, you see, we've got everything. You know, we live in a time of abundance, yet people starve, yet there's still wars, there's still conflict. You know, we're destroying the planet. And so even though we're gaining all this technology, all this power, we should be moving into prosperity. Human nature is not built that way. We attack, we destroy, and it's really books and poetry and art and things like that sort of save the world. It's humanity, I believe, and that's just thing. But in this, it's like, what do you do with all that knowledge, all that power? And you know, we still self-destruct, which is, you know, the sad nature of humanity. But that's why we read books like this, to escape into that world and that thing. And, you know, hopefully smarter people realise the messaging in fiction, or the truisms in fiction are there not to make us feel bad or think, but to show possibilities of what can be and what we do wrong as humans, and hopefully open our hearts and to a little bit more empathy. And then there's the like I said, the love story in this one with Ever and Livira, that they're just, I don't think I'm saying that right too either. If I'd listened to the audiobook, which I do listen to a lot of audiobooks, I'd probably listen back to how I've just pronounced those names and cringe. Anyone that's met me or watched any one of my book reviews will know that my pronunciation of names is terrible, especially if I've only read it. If I haven't heard someone say it and I've only read a name, it's generally terrible. So that's what that is. So if you're sitting there listening to me say that name and cringing, I had this beautiful writer. I met this beautiful writer last week, and I did a book review for her, which isn't on my YouTube channel. It's on my Instagram and my Facebook. And I said her name, not her character's name wrong, her name wrong. And she was very lovely in correcting me, and in a polite way. But I did, fortunately, foreshadow, say, I hope I'm getting this right. And she was like, no, you're not. So that's what that is. That's my off-rant, off-topic. So, yeah, but back to the book. And it is a brilliant book. I really love this series. Not as many tabs this time. You know, the first one I tabbed so many pages. But there was still this really good, you know, brilliant lines, these brilliant thoughts. But there was real emphasis in the first one around this love story and that. And now we've sort of kicked into the action and it's a little bit more fast-paced and a lot more going on with the different threads, like I said, with the time travelling and the pools and the changing of different portions of the library. And yeah, decisions have got to be made on, do you save the library or do you destroy the library? Is it an evil force? Is it something for good? And I think the underlying answer is humans. I've sort of given that thing before. It's our nature that destroys. Even if we've got things of beauty, even if we've got capabilities, we're the ones that destroy. And I think that's sort of the messaging of this book. All the knowledge in the world, and we're still very primitive animals that just self-destruct or just destroy. That's who we are as humans. But yeah, brilliant book. Absolutely can't wait for book 3. I'm gonna start it right now. Really, that's dive into it. Hopefully, I'll get a little bit more time to read this one and read it a little bit quicker than it's taken me book 2. But yeah, absolutely brilliant read. The book that broke the world, book 2 of the Library trilogy by Mark Lawrence. Fantastic, brilliant read. Absolutely loved it. From the first page, even when I was, like I said, I was a little bit lost, still loved it. Still a fantastic book. Happy reading. Subscribe and follow for more.